If you've ever hit submit on a self-tape or walked out of an audition room and then immediately started tearing yourself to shreds, this is the podcast episode for you. Hello and welcome back to the Aligned Actor Podcast. I'm Amy Schlurb, your fellow actor, and also your mindfulness and mindset coach for actors, helping us all thrive in every aspect of our actor lives. Week after week, I want to be sharing mindfulness and mindset tools for actors, practical tools and mindset shifts that can help you thrive in your craft and your career. I want you all to feel resilient, empowered, focused, playful, relaxed, and confident in your full actor life. And that might sound like a really tall order, because those are a lot of adjectives that I threw out, or states of being, or states of well-being that I threw out. But I really do think it's possible for us all to thrive, despite how banana pants this career can be, despite all the ups and downs, all the twists and turns. The roller coaster ride of being an actor is no joke, friends, but we don't have to suffer through it. We can enjoy it. And that's what I'm here to do week after week on the Aligned Actor Podcast here on Substack. So one of the ways that we can thrive as artists is by actually doing something to change our relationship with our inner critic. I bet that this little voice inside your head is abusing you with their never-ending monologue of harsh criticisms. So stuff like, if you were a better actor, you'd be booking more. Or, ugh, I can tell that moment was so fake. Or, ooh, I can tell that you were in your head on that line. You were totally in your head throughout that whole audition. Like, you couldn't stop thinking about what the casting director wanted, and that just ruined everything. You're a horrible actor. Duh, why are you so terrible in this tape? Ugh, I bet casting is watching this and laughing, and not in a good way. Oh, deep breath, friends. Why do we do this to ourselves? I mean, it is good to have high expectations, and we should have high expectations of ourselves. But does the voice that carries those expectations, that heaps those expectations onto us, does it need to be so self-critical and harsh and downright abusive? And the answer is no. No, it does not. But we've given it a lot of practice. A lot of practice over the years. And literally we've created like this whole phrase, this whole statement that affirms its normalcy in our lives. We all know how normal this voice is because we always say this phrase, I am my own worst critic. And yes, that statement does imply that no one else is judging us as harshly as we are, and therefore we're probably a lot better than we're giving ourselves credit for. But at what mental cost are we continuing to feed this beast of a voice? There's an indigenous parable about two wolves that live inside each of us, and they battle inside each of us. And one of them is good, and one of them is evil. And the parable goes that the one that wins is the one that you feed. And I have a link to the actual parable in the show notes. So you can go read it for yourself. Now, I'm not saying that our inner critic is all evil, because it is honestly trying to protect us from harsh judgments and criticisms from other people, which is great. That's lovely. That's a very protective thing for it to do. But it does that by criticizing the ever-loving F out of us, and that doesn't feel very loving and protective at all. Because when its criticisms are excessively negative and harsh, it doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel protective, and it honestly can harm our overall actor mindset and impact the actions that we feel safe and want to and feel motivated to take in our careers. It can cause us to feel unmotivated. We can get in our heads during auditions, and it can lead to burnout in our careers. None of these are good things. Fortunately, there's another wolf who lives inside us, and that is our inner fan. And I bet you've never even heard of an inner fan. You're like, what the heck is that, Amy? Well, that's the part of us that knows that we're amazing. It knows that we're talented. It knows we're a highly bookable, castable actor. Now, maybe that idea is very foreign to you. Maybe the idea of a inner positive, supportive, you're so talented, I love your work is great all the time type of voice makes you really uncomfortable and feels very like, ooh, but Amy, isn't that bragging? I don't think I like that. I'm gonna become a diva, or I'm gonna become a, like, you know, somebody who thinks they're better than other people, and that's not right. I should be humble, and I shouldn't feel that way about myself. I shouldn't think that I'm good at this. But it's actually not bragging at all to amp up this inner voice. Because, as Robin Williams says in The Birdcage, which if you haven't seen The Birdcage, go watch The Birdcage. It's a fantastic film. There's this one scene where he says to a dancer, he does this whole elaborate dance for them. And he's like, this is what you do in this act. You do this, and you do this, and you do that. And he's just going absolutely, you know, just so vibrant and so outrageous and so big with all of it. And then at the very end, he says, but you keep it all inside. And that's what I want you to do with this inner fan voice. I want you to make it as big and loud and amazing as possible and keep it all inside. It's why it's called an inner fan, just like an inner critic. So there are some ways that I think we can feed our inner fan, and that's what we're going to get into now. Practicing your inner fan voice is all about intentionally acknowledging your talent instead of only seeing your flaws. So intentionally noticing and acknowledging when you do good work helps break this default habit of judging your work solely through the eyes of your inner critic. So all that, like, immediate after you do the self-tape, after you leave the in-person audition, and starting to go like, oh God, I should have done this other way. Oh man, oh, that was so awful. Oh God, what was I thinking? Oh, I was in and out on that one. Oh, I rushed that line at the end, and oh, now I'm watching the tape back and I can totally tell that I'm acting, and oh God, this is all terrible. I'm terrible. That voice is really strong, right? That's kind of our default, maybe for you. Maybe it's not, but I'm guessing that's a more default sort of almost comfort zone at this point, even though it feels very uncomfortable. But that's where probably your mindset tends to live. That's where the voice in your head goes after a self-tape, after an in-person audition. And those self-critical, wet blanket statements are just your inner critic running amok. Because nothing is ever good enough for them, and they will never be able to see your good work even when it's right in front of them. It's right there. But your inner fan knows and recognizes your true talent. And you can practice their voice out loud to yourself or in your own mind by intentionally acknowledging your skills as an actor when you see them and when you feel them. And you can start to evaluate your work through their eyes instead of your inner critic's eyes. So after you finish a scene, I want you to notice and acknowledge the moments in that scene that felt really good to you. Maybe the whole thing felt really good. Sometimes we get those sort of lightning in a bottle golden moments, or golden scenes where we're like, wow, oh, I was really in it and that felt amazing. Those are great. Yes, absolutely. Acknowledge all of that when the whole thing happens in that way. But also, even if you felt in and out or whatever, acknowledge the moments that were really good, the moments that did feel good. Oh, I felt really connected in that one moment. Oh, that part in the middle, that felt really awesome. Like I really tapped into something there. I had really fun with the character on that take. And then when you watch your self-tapes, notice and acknowledge the moments where you enjoy your work. So like, I really like my reaction on that line. I can tell I was really listening there. Oh, I was really going after my character's want in that moment. I can see it right there. I was like really committed to getting that want. Or like, I'm proud of how committed I was at the end there. Like I was really in it at the end. If your inner critic is especially good at their job and they're just like, their criticism just comes out naturally, it flows like free-flowing water. This new way of doing things is going to take some getting used to. It's going to take practice, but it is worth this practice, I promise you. And at first, you may have to practice by just saying, okay, I acknowledge that my inner critic has a lot to say about that take, but let me just ask my inner fan to point out at least one good moment. Where's one place where I felt like my work was good and I'm proud of that moment? Because it's okay to start small with this practice and let it grow. So I want you to give this a try for yourself. And Self-Tape May, which we're in right now, is a great time to practice this because you're doing a lot of tapes. You have a lot of time to go like, oh, okay, let me watch that tape back. Oh yeah, I really like that moment. Okay, that was good. Oh, I really like that moment too. Oh, that was fun. And getting to practice in that way and practicing when, maybe you have real auditions sprinkled in with your auditions or with the self-tapes that you're just putting out for Self-Tape May. But there's more of them and there's also less, the stakes are a little bit lower, right? You're putting it out online. So of course there's that sort of, amped up feeling for it. But it's a good time to practice it when it's not a quote unquote real audition. So you can practice just sort of finding those moments. So practice finding 3 to 5 really good moments in each tape that you put up. Ask yourself, what does my inner fan think of this take? Because when you train your inner fan to be louder and take control of the microphone of your mind more often, you will be amazed at how much better you feel in your actor life. I'm not kidding. It really does work. How you talk to yourself in your own mind really has an impact on your self-esteem, your self-confidence, all of that kind of stuff. Additionally, it helps you feel more motivated, more optimistic, more creative, enjoy acting more, enjoy your craft more, because instead of just going like, oh God, all of this is terrible, I'm never gonna get better, this is all hopeless, it's like, oh, I liked that moment, and I see where I could let me try something new on that other part. So it becomes more of a constructive, collaborative criticism, perhaps, or constructive, collaborative expansion, rather than just like, oh God, that was terrible. Why are you even doing this? You're going to enjoy your craft more. You're going to enjoy your career more. That's what I want for you. I want you to enjoy your craft and your career. I want you to enjoy being an actor. That's why you got into this. You got into this because you loved acting and you love being an actor. So I want you to find that for yourself. And I think amping up the voice of your inner fan is really going to help you do that. I want you to enjoy your full actor life and feel confident in your craft and your career all the time. Maybe not all the time. That might be asking a lot, but the majority of the time. And I think your inner fan is a big key to that. So if you found this content helpful or inspiring, I would be so honored if you would leave a comment, share it with an actor pal that you think could really use this message today. And also, I'd love for you to check out, in the show notes, I have a link to my free guided meditation for auditions. So it helps you get out of your head so that you can rock your next audition. And it's totally free, and I have it available for you in the show notes of this episode. I also have for you a mindfulness book. It's a toolkit of all kinds of mindfulness, very simple mindfulness tools that you can use to calm your nerves before a self-tape, calm your nerves before, a big interview or a big meeting with somebody, whatever it is that you need help with, or even those moments in between things where you're just getting frustrated in your career or you're feeling just unsettled in any kind of way, these tools are going to be really valuable to you, and they're really going to help you ride the actor roller coaster with a little bit more peace, a little bit more settled of a stomach for the whole thing. It's really going to help you out. So check out both of those things. Check out my meditation and check out my ebook, and I think you'll like them. That's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.